produce stunning performances. Highland Blaze led all the way in the Grand National Hurdle.
Highland Blaze, this has been a fantastic performance.
And over the steeple fences, Stern Idol is the absolute star of the show.
Stern Idol, give him a big cheer at Sandown. He's 15 in front.
Sunday, there's the Great Western Steeple. 7 days later, Ballarat has the Grand National Steeple on RSN Racing and Sport.
Kia's most awarded SUV, the 7-seat Kia Sorento. Available in petrol, diesel, hybrid and plug-in hybrid powertrains. Fine-tuned for Australian roads and conditions for all 7 passengers. To find out more, visit kia.com.au or visit your nearest Kia dealer.
Kia, movement that inspires.
On RSN Racing and Sport, it's time for the grey areas with Corey Smith and George Ferrugia.
That kid was a human dynamo.
Are you sure you're talking about George?
George of the jungle, friend to you and me.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Grey Areas. I'm George Ferrugia, and I tell you what, we are running out of men, running out of soldiers here. John Henry is injured, hopefully back next week, but we've got the great Sean Cosgrove in the house. How are you, Sean?
Look, I'm good. Johnny, unfortunately, he's copped the dog's disease. I think he's got COVID.
Has he?
Yeah, he's got
I
that.
was coughing here on Wednesday, but I did assure him that it wasn't me. But I
Might have a bit of kennel cough or something, you never know.
Bit of kennel cough.
Probably.
As I welcome in Corey Smith. How are you, mate?
Going well. I thought one Collingwood supporter should front up after the dog's breakfast that was last night, but you were a little bit more frustrated with something else at the footy. You just thought, the Hawks have won, they've dominated, it doesn't matter, that's we can move on from that. But you were a little bit frustrated, no Great Northerns at the footy last night.
Yeah. They changed it to those light blue Carlton Dries, so I found that a little bit weird. They also had a gherkin sitting behind me who was spitting vile at Jai Newcombe for the whole match after what looked like an accidental bump, and then he turned on his own team, so that was quite fun. So
that's what they do, those gherkins. I like that saying. I might use that. I tend to call people a pelican.
Pelican?
Yeah. So I like those words that are common vernacular, but you use them in a different way in a derogatory manner. So
yes.
I might have to steal that gherkin.
He wasn't a very nice man. Anyway, what a weird season, Corey, to be honest. I mean, you beat us by 10 goals and looked awesome, and that now we've touched you up, and we could still miss the finals. Like, I mean, it's such a weird year. It's wide open, that flag, I think.
Absolutely, it is. I think there's probably 9 teams that could win it, and 9 teams that are absolutely nowhere near it and don't feel that way for a couple of years. But that's the AFL at this stage.
Now, before we get onto the dog, Sean, you've just come back from overseas. Tell us a little bit about that, mate, because I've seen some photos on Facebook of some of the delicacies you're eating.
Yeah.
Give me some of the highlights, mate.
As long as it's had a heartbeat, I'll have a crack at it, basically. Went over. My son's mate got married to a beautiful French girl in a chateau in Bordeaux.
Really?
So that's good enough excuse for me to go as well. So we hit Paris, got there the day before Bastille Day and cut the track through there. That was good. And then down to Bordeaux, down there for a week. And I tell you what, do they know how to have a wedding? They bounced the ball at 5 o'clock in the Arvo, pulled up stumps at 5 the next morning, had a rest and then come back for what they call the recovery at midday. And open the bowling again.
It sounds very good, mate.
I've got an order in for a new liver.
When's it arrive?
I've got to find someone with a good one. That's hard.
Oh, goodness.
You won't find one with us here.
No, you're probably barking up the wrong tree. Yesterday at Sandown, guys, in with the old and out with the new, I think is the saying here. We had 2 of the last Phoenix winners just absolutely dominate. I mean, explicit, Corey, it's no surprise that he ran that time. I mean, but for a PB coming back after stud, 5 seconds flat early, and probably didn't nail the start, really, either. I mean, he's just a genuine freak. And then, obviously, we've seen Scalacci, who we spoke about being in really good form, running 29.26. So what was your highlight?
Yeah, well, both of those were highlights.
Yeah.
If we're just holding it to Sandown for a second, I think explicit, just to be able to do that, the way that he does it is phenomenal. But I love Scalacci, and he's a dog that I think Talge has done the right thing by him in recent time. Well, he's done the right thing the whole way through his career, but in recent times he's held him away from some of those high-level races, and he's just put him around at Sandown, went to Shepparton for a veterans race. He dominated there, and he's built his confidence up to a point where I think he could step back into that high high-level company and really figure in the finish. So he's a very, very talented greyhound, Scalacci, but explicit last night. He stole the show, breaking 29 seconds again. He just absolutely loves Sandown, and he also loves the Meadows, which is handy.
Look, we spoke about it on Wednesday, and we don't have any inside knowledge, obviously, Corey, but you'd think if they were thinking about the Phoenix, that run last night just solidifies their thought process. I mean, he doesn't turn 4 till January. They seen Scalacci at 4 years and 2 months old still race well. That probably would go into their mindset as well. They'll tick him along nicely. They've avoided the state sprint championships. I just think it's just all signs lead to December 13 at the Meadows for me for explicit.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Phoenix slots are obviously open at the moment, and they've got just less than a month to decide whether they go again, and I'd like to think that they will, and I'd like to think that it'd be explicit going for a back-to-back title. Scalacci got the crack at that last year. It didn't quite have that fairy tale sort of finish. Wow, She's Fast has won a couple, so if explicit could win a couple as well, it's one hell of a story. And
$3 million greyhound.
Oh, wow. Could you, if I'd have said to you even 10 years ago, when Fernando Bale's running around, Fanta Bale, the likes that are breaking the $1 million then, if I'd have said to you then there'll be a dog that wins $3 million, I reckon you would have called me mad.
Yeah. I still go back to the time when Rapid Journey held the prize money record at $530,000, Corey, and he won just about everything, that dog. So, I mean, you can just imagine. Couple of other results. Talcott Bale, we spoke about him being in form, that early speed, won in the race. Again, we spoke about Saquon not splitting as well to that first split, so you start to think about your thoughts on him stepping up to 600 at some stage if he's going to start to get caught up in races like that. And the first winner was absolutely fantastic. Measurement 29-22. Another young pup of Plaintiff for the Tullio family, who's just had an unbelievable run in the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, I'm not a trainer and will never profess to be, so I'm not going to sit here and tell anyone how to train their dog, because I certainly don't know how. But I reckon Saquon is probably looking for that almost my redeemer leading up to the Melbourne Cup prep. Step up to 600, get out in front, get that confidence back, and then he might be able to jump back to the 500. But he certainly looks like he's a dog that will get 600 metres in time, and Measurement was super impressive. I thought that was a good race, and there'll be plenty of good dogs that come out of that race, and to be able to dominate them in the fashion that it did, I thought that was great.
Well, they got a youngster, the Innes clan have got a youngster called Tribeca, who Jason Adams is a big fan of, but I think he's got his worries if he's drawn out wide because he's such a fence crusher, but they found one here. I think she's an absolute star. We don't have Sky up here. You just let us know when there's a race on, mate. We'll just
they're about to get ready, Mildura, so we might head there now. The favourite here is number 6, Tough Ain't Enough. It's $1.90.
Late scratching 8, go away again. 8 the late scratching at 10:06 this morning, veterinary advice. 8 the late scratching and 5 the late scratching. 6 of them. Go again, 5 the standard scratching and 8 the late scratching. Standard scratching 5, late scratching 8, 10:06 this morning, vets. 6 of them. 17.90, 56.64. All set. Race 1. And a full start with the galloping on the inside of the front line, Red Hot Mickey. And would have come back and checked the sole second row runner, Calonia Terra. So a full start in race 1. The 6 runner, 56.64. Rating race over 17.90, whereas I say 5 is the standard scratching, 8 the late one at 10:06 this morning, vets. So Red Hot Mickey, number 1, no doubt the cause of the full start, galloping from the inside of the front line, coming back and checking the sole second row runner, Calonia Terra. As I say, I think Tough Ain't Enough, a bit short now. Beaten the nose here last week, very game in defeat, won in a dead heat first up. But I don't think there's that much value. Kitty Cat Cutie's the interesting runner, the second favourite. Good Boot Spindy's been third last week, went up big in grades, come a long way in a short space of time. Red Hot Mickey 340 out to 7. And then I see Filter at 12. And Calonia Terra's the outsider of the sextet. A really good each way bet, even though there's only 2 placed evidence. He's at big odds. They follow the mobile round very quickly here, which is good. So shaping up again, 180 Tough Ain't Enough in from 260. Kitty Cat Cutie 440 out to 5. Good Boots Bendy 440 out to 6. 340 out to 7 Red Hot Mickey. 17 into 12 for IC Filter. 11 out to 14 Calonia Terra. Was much bigger at one point. 642 137 market order. Follow the gate around pretty quickly here. And they're racing for the first of the afternoon. Oh, and Calonia Terra gallops from the second row. So Calonia Terra up in the air at the start, and getting out quickly is Kitty Cat Cutie in the purple and light blue to go to the lead. Favourite in the navy and green, Tough 8 Enough comes over to second. IC Filter in the yellow behind the leader. And three back on the pegs is Red Hot Mickey, followed at one by Good Boots Bindi, and Calonia Terra's 35 metres away now after blowing the start. They went past the Park Douglas Printing winning post in a lead time of 12.1 into the back, and Kitty Cat Cutie's in front by a length. On in second, the outside, is the favourite Tough 8 Enough. A hit away third, the pegs IC Filter. And 3 metres to Good Boots Bindi, who gets the lovely 1-1 sit. And then a neck to Red Hot Mickey in the white with the blue sleeves, 3 back the pegs. And 25 to 30 metres away chasing is Calonia Terra. First quarter in 29.2, 1,050 to travel. Kitty Cat Cutie eyeballed by Tough 8 Enough. 4 metres IC Filter on the inside of Good Boots Bindi in the green 1-1, as Tough 8 Enough's definitely poked his head in front of Kitty Cat Cutie. Probably nearly got a neck on her, actually. At the bell, he's nearly a half length on Kitty Cat Cutie. He still travels on the bridle, but is headed by Tough 8 Enough. Plugs are out there on Kitty Cat Cutie, potentially prematurely, though. Leaders back IC Filter, and then 1-1 Good Boots Bindi as they take the bend. Kitty Cat Cutie goes a half length, Tough 8 Enough. Red Hot Mickey fifth at the chances, and 25 to Calonia Terra, who's done some chasing in some pretty fast time. 29.5 second quarter gives them 58.7 for the opening lap or so. So they've gone fairly quick in this. Tough 8 Enough driven confidently by Ashwood, and now sent for the line and goes clear. Puts Kitty Cat Cutie to the sword, kicks 3 metres in front. 2 metres Good Boots Bindi under pressure. Red Hot Mickey to the outside, and then IC Filter, who's on the inside with something to give if he can get out. And 25 to Calonia Terra. 150 metres to go. Third quarter 28.6. Tough 8 Enough. He's run some time here, and he's got them covered as well. Good Boots Bindi is getting close late as Tough 8 Enough starts to get a bit tired, but fair enough. He's done all the work in the def. Tough 8 Enough. It was enough. 156.2. Good Boots Bindi is 6 metres second. 6 metres Red Hot Mickey a nose third from IC Filter. Might never really got it the clearest of running. Kitty Cat Cutie 21. Calonia Terra, he's blown the start, but he's made up a lot of top ground in quick time. Slowest quarter, the fourth quarter, 29.8. Mile rate 156.2. They don't go much quicker than that around here. It's only 2 seconds outside of BeatStar's track record.
All right, moving up well at Hillsville, here's Victoria Shaw.
Today, certainly making our selections here, going a little wider, I think, after this event, but put it together, well supported from box 8, and certainly some support there for Wansum off the inside. Getting set here at Healesville, the amber light now switches to green. They're ready to go. And they're often chasing, put it together, a fair start, Intercept Queen, Audacious Rachel, nicely way. Chojak Amici now veering towards the outside, and Wansum stamps on the pace, gets to the centre of the track and now veers wide. Out in front, put it together, now finds the rail. They've switched positions. Intercept Queen between them, out deep Chojak Amici, running on Steadfast Eddie, Jazz Hands and Nalis goes going towards the light. Wansum, put it together, gets up in the last hop on the inside rail. So put it together, running to victory there from Wansum. Next there, Chojak Amici. Jazz Hands not too far away. Further there to Nalis goes Steadfast Eddie, Audacious Rachel, Intercept Queen, one of the last in, and they're on 19 and 66. Put it together, last hop gets there.
Good on you, Vic. Victoria Shaw with the race there from Yarra Glen. Now Mildura takes the through race 1. 6 Tough 8 Enough, 170, 150. 2 Good Boots Bindi, 280. 1 Red Hot Mickey, no third. 4, 3 IC Filter. Quinella, 550. Exacta, 640. Trifecta, 27.20 in the 485.20. We'll touch shortly on that previous from Mildura, which is race 5. Grey areas with George and Curry for Grey Racing Victoria.
Yeah, look, if anyone wants to get involved, the text number 0416 90 50 52. We've got a couple of texts come through. This is one that you could probably answer, Corey. G'day, guys. Whatever happened to the Meadows putting in a shorter distance race? From memory, it was going to be around the 430-metre distance range. Regards, Jamie.
Yeah, so predated my time at the Meadows. I do remember that happening. I'm not 100% certain on the reasons behind why it never came to fruition. I can only speak on my opinion working there, and I personally wouldn't like to have it. I think keep city racing 500 metres and above. I think if you were going to put in some new infrastructure, I'd massively support handicap racing, particularly for the 700 metre dogs.
Yeah.
So that's probably where I'd put my time and energy if I was trying to get more infrastructure going. I think there's plenty of opportunities for short course dogs around the country, whether there's differences in grading and adding in free for alls and city clubs class prize money and stuff out there. There's merit to that. I'm not a massive supporter of it, but there's merit to it. As for putting in the 4:30 or whatever that distance was going to be at the Meadows, not a massive supporter of it personally.
Yeah, there's no need for it. I mean, we've got Bendigo, we've got Ballarat, we've got Shepparton, we've got all those tracks, so we don't need it. The one thing I wouldn't mind seeing, like for the absolute sprinters, would be like a one-off race worth 15k from the 290 whatever boxes they are from the 700 metres, but like once a year or something like that. But I agree with you. We've spoken on this program about handicap racing. They were great betting races too.
Absolutely.
At the Meadows. It was absolutely fantastic. Another text in. Hi, George. Forget the Phoenix. Could you ask Corey how the Magpies are travelling? Doubt anyone is using their slot in them. Mark. Thanks, Mark. I think we both know Mark. So
yes,
cheers
we
for
do.
that.
Cheers, Mark.
Another text message. One word, George Meek. Yeah, he did play well yesterday. Old Meeky. Meadows, we've got heats of the state distance and state sprint championship tomorrow, and we'll go through these one by one because I think they're really intriguing. The first is race 2, 6:54 p.m. tomorrow, the Vic National Distance Series Heat 1, and we've got an interesting betting race here. Fade to Black is the favourite at $2. Your boy, Kenya All Class, $2.50. We're out to Bandit Darrell at $8. Give us your thoughts, Corey.
Oh, well, you've got one in there as well, George. So it's another little head-to-head, and hopefully it works out better for me than last night, the Pies v Hawks. But, look, he's got to come out and do it. Fade to Black has beaten him in 2 of the last 3 runs, and he's probably better suited to the 700 metres and a smaller field. Hopefully we get out in front with Kenya All Class and give them something to chase. And I have a gut feel that at this stage of his career, 2 turns, 700 is probably a better conveyance than the big one-turn tracks like Bendigo and Sale to a lesser extent. So we'll see how we go. He's certainly good enough. He's won a Group 1 over this track and trip, but he's got to do it.
We were speaking off air about Fade to Black and his emergence in his last couple of weeks. He's been fantastic. He was obviously involved in that race without a trace and Kenya All Class at Bendigo, and he split the pair of views running second. It was a good little run. So that's a great way to start the night. Race 3 is Heat 2 of the National Distance Series, and we've got a real shorty here. Not the hardest of heats, obviously, for Ethanol Water. Her racing style has evolved, if you can use that word, Corey. I mean, she's $1.40 now. She does begin okay, but tend to step back and then have a withering run. Interested to hear your thoughts on the 8 here, Texas President, because its win over 600 metres at Sandown last week was good. Run home time was good too, stepping up over 700 for the first time. I might have a little bit of a play here at $7.50.
It's one of those dogs that has always looked like it's going to be a stayer, and you look at the preparation and you see plenty of 500 metre racing and then a 595 just a once-off and then up to 700 and you go, that's a bit odd.
Yeah.
But they wouldn't be doing it if they didn't think that it'd be the right sort of thing for the dog. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Texas President run a good race. Ethanol Water is clearly the class runner. No surprise to see her short in the market. Whereas Bale is tough as old boots and will probably have a crack at the finish. And then you've got the likes of Scotch Time and Lakeview Nola, who you know are going to run 700 metres and are probably your same race multi plays, your place sort of plays. So it's an intriguing race outside of the favourite, who really should be beating up on them.
Coach to their heels for race 5, all clear in the break, put it together, 130, 104, 1 wants some, 120. 5, Shoji Akamichi, 350, and 4-3, Jazz Hands, Quinella 220, Exacta 240, Trifecta 2250, the 484.40, running double 4 and 8, 26 even.
Heat 3 of the distance series, and we've got another shorty here without a trace. I don't know what happened last start. You just put a line through it, don't you? I mean, her form before that had been absolutely exemplary, and she just tailed off. They wouldn't be putting her in if they didn't think she was going okay. I think she trialled well in the lead up to this. She's got the speed, not much. There's probably speed drawn outside of her in Flying Envy and Copper Rush, but if she can find the top, she'll be stronger than them to the line. Probably a fair odds at $1.60. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I think fair odds, but not odds that I'm willing to chime in at. I'm always willing to forgive one bad run. She obviously had that. The 8th is the blemish on that record that is so impressive to date. But, I would be happy to just spec probably this bad boy and Copper Rush, both at double-figure odds, and just have something small just in case Without a Trace hasn't come back in tip-top condition. I know the Prosciuttos wouldn't put her in if she wasn't working the house down and trialling well and all that sort of stuff. But I just think at the price, I'm happy to let her go round. And if she beats me, she beats me. She's a star, and I'll enjoy it nonetheless.
Yeah, so there's 3 heats there. Obviously, the winners, seconds and 2 fastest thirds go through to next week's final on Thursday night, as you mentioned a couple of days ago. First heat of the Sprint Series, and probably my favourite greyhound in training at the moment, Tim Zhu. I mean, he's just racing with such an air of confidence. When he led up at Sandown and ran 29.0s last start, he was just dominant. He's always been a greyhound early in his career, Corey, that probably needed a good box draw early on in his career, but through that Australian Cup Carnival, he kept drawing out wide and kept winning races.
He changed that narrative, didn't he?
He did. So where you're lying here, I mean, he's $2.10. Lakeview Emily, we know, at her absolute best, she can just lead this field for fun. She's at $3.70. Shimmer Time, $4.40. Bebop Jazz, $7.50.
I know we're probably, one of our main roles is to promote wagering and help the sport that way. Yeah. This is for me, just sit back, put the feet up and enjoy some stars do battle. Lakeview Emily, you mentioned Tim Zhu's one of your favourites. Lakeview Emily's one of mine. She hasn't won a Group 1 yet, but she's just competed so well in so many Group 1 series, and it's hard to line up. You say box number 6 doesn't suit her, but she's got a great record from wide draws. Tim Zhu's handled this draw at this track and trip in big races. There's plenty of speed in it, so it's one of those races where I think I'm just going to sit back, I'm going to put the feet up and crack a frothy and enjoy.
Yeah, absolutely. Can't wait for that race. As I said, Tim Zhu just racing in career best form at the moment. Heat 2 of the Sprint Series. Recent Group 1 winner Slick Splits has come up with box 1 and is a $1.95 favourite. Some of the others in contention are drawn off the track, and this, again, is a really interesting race. Mapunga Reward, he's another one of my favourites, the way he can weave through a field. He's at $4, and Flying Zulu, who's shown to handle wide draws in the past, is at $4 as well.
And then you've got a Group 1 finalist, Colac Kid, Intrepid Bale, who's been so good over the middle distance. This is a cracking race as well. Slick Split's obviously the one to beat. Nice and short for me. I think you could have something on Mapunga Reward. I think he's the sort of dog that the box draws don't matter that much. It's more the map. Yeah. And as long as he can avoid Flying Zulu early and just chime into the race down the back, then he's a massive winning chance.
Yeah, the box draw probably suits him, but Flying Zulu might be a thorn in his side. He does like to use a bit of the track.
Flying Zulu.
Yeah, and he can show not electric speed. We're not talking explicit here, but if he's going to show speed, Mapunga Reward, it's usually from a wide draw and he's given time to move early. So that's an interesting race. And the last heat, we've got a favourite here at $1.90 in Deadly Avenger. Poor Oswald's at $3.50. We're out to $6 for one of my favourites in Smooth Plain, and Poor Petrov at $9. I'm happy to take the $1.90 here for Deadly Avenger. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think I am as well. Smooth Plain, you can never discount. Poor Oswald's been in fantastic form. He's a Group 1 winner in his own right, but I think Deadly Avenger's a different gravy from a nice draw. So I think of all the 6 heats that we've just spoken about, whether it be the distance or the sprint, I reckon Deadly Avenger's the one that I'd be happy to chime in at the prices. Yeah,
me too. He's going to be one of my best bets for sure on the program. I'll go through some of my tips. I don't know if you've done your form for the meeting, but yeah, look, race 8, number 3, Deadly Avenger for me, Corey. I just think he's got a really great knack of nailing starts, and then he just highlights his ability by running really good splits right around, and he's strong to the line as well. So he's very hard to catch when he's on the bunny. Race 8, number 3. And I like one later in the program who also has good speed. Forget her run last start. Race 11, number 7, Cleo Star. I think she can find the top here. Her last 2 starts, she's had a fall and then run 8th, but her form before that was absolutely fantastic, and I think she finds her race here. I know Mapunga Donna's got a lot of ability, but I think if Cleo Star can lead, she'll be hard to beat. Race 11, number 7. Is there something that stands out for you?
I think there's a same race multi-play. I've been dabbling in the same race multis a little bit more often, and I think you can take both Mapunga Donna and Cleo Star in that race 11, and then I was keen on Deadly Avenger. Outside of that, I think it's a relatively hard sort of betting program. I think Mapunga Smokey will run a good race as well, pending what price they put up there, but looking for some exotics throughout the night, I reckon.
Now, we've got to mention the Q2. It's back on track.
It is.
And we've seen some racing there yesterday, and we've seen a greyhound break 29 seconds for the first time. Cumbria Jack for Tony Brett. incredible victory.
Well, we were speaking about Explicit. We were speaking about Scalacci, how good they were. I would easily argue that Cumbria Jack was the most impressive run anywhere around the country last night. He's a dog that he's only had a short career to date, but he's shown so much ability, and he put it all together last night. He didn't nail the start. He had to be tough. He punched up on the inside. Obviously, box one helps when you're in those sort of situations. But his acceleration down the back, I wish the team at Queensland did the race starter like our man Patch puts together, because to see his sectionals off the back, I reckon they would be absolutely roaring, and he's a strong type too.
17 starts, 12 wins. He's had a really good start to his career. I tell you what, Queensland have got some very, very talented greyhounds who could, when they come south, really mix it. I mean, Blue Blend is a very, very fast dog too. They've got some absolute talent there at the moment.
Yeah, well, I would look forward to, and hopefully I can put my old mate Ash Baker in a bit of a headlock and get the team up at Queensland to buy another Phoenix slot this year. And I think they're depth-wise, their sprinting ranks are as good as it's been, and I think the Nationals can only help. Cumbria Jack obviously started his career in New South Wales and has stayed up in Queensland and qualified for them, and would probably qualify for a Queensland Flame Series and then come back down to the Phoenix. So it's one of those things where I'd love to see some of those dogs come down here. Dacey's Rory, Jay is Jay, Tiana Bell, Spotted Elk. They've all performed well in the 4 Phoenixes to date.
Yes, at big odds too.
And maybe Jay is Jay is the exception, and he was probably the best of the lot. So it goes to show they can mix it up with the best dogs anywhere around the country in Queensland at the minute.
Absolutely. Before we get on to... we'll get on to the obscure bet, and then I've got a little story to tell. Just hang on a minute here. I'll get the obscure bet up. We do this every week, obviously. I think Brisbane to beat Sydney, Gold Coast to beat Carlton. Nothing outstanding here yet. St Kilda to beat Richmond. And I'm going to take Port Adelaide plus 25.5 against Freo. We're getting around $3.80 for that obscure bet.
Port Adelaide?
At home, I think they could... Yeah,
it is a big advantage, Adelaide Oval.
Yeah.
Freo due for a stinker.
Yeah, I think we're due. Around the $3.80 mark. Jason often bags me about getting old, and that's fair enough. The grey hairs are starting to show, mate. I'm in my mid-40s, but I got some mail.
Well, you didn't have your ankles swell up after a few frothies, so
I
don't know if he can.
Is he okay?
Really
we come to he just you don't know this story, Sean, but Jason Adams has gone to Darwin and. His legs have swelled up because
it's
of
just the grog filling up.
Yeah.
Or the humidity. But
filled up from the bottom.
Yeah. So hello to Jace if you're listening. Got a letter in the mail. Cheryl came over and passed it over to me, and I said, what's this? Don't read. I opened it up. It was an invitation to get a free hearing check. Is this where I am in my life? I mean, I'm getting geezer mail now, old geezer mail. What is happening, Sean?
You know you're getting old when you can sing and clean your teeth at the same time, George.
It just worried me, mate. I used to get mail about going to nightclubs and stuff like that.
When you'd been a little disco duck too, I reckon you would have cut a track around the floor, eh?
Yeah, they're not too bad.
Right,
I actually had a hearing test recently, George.
Oh,
so
did you?
I'm 30 and had a hearing test recently.
Yeah.
I'm getting a little bit of surgery on my nose to get it fixed up, and they said, well, while you're here, we'll do a hearing test. Apparently, all okay. So I don't need that letter, thankfully, but I feel like I'm working my way into that category as well.
Oh, you've got years. You've got years before we get there. We're about to wrap up the show.
Yep.
Obviously, the Nationals. There's a prelude at Wentworth Park on Saturday with. A very, very good field. We'll get all races on Thursday, which will be fantastic next week. We'll be back on Wednesday to chat about all things Nationals. And then we're slowly going to start to work up to the $1 Million Chase. So it's all going to come very, very quickly. We're already talking about the Phoenix. A lot happening in the sport of greyhound racing. Sean.
Good on you guys. Next time we see you, you'll be looking a lot better after the panel meeting. Hearing and seeing a whole lot better. Looking a lot younger. 29 past 12 at RSN, and they're about to get ready for the next at Hillsville. And here's Victoria Shaw.
So they're just on their way to the start. As we welcome back our networks to the coverage here at Hillsville, gentlemen, thank you very much.